What is going on, y'all, and welcome to the Locks DFS MLB Breakdown. My name is Narang. I'm from locksdfs.com. If you don't already know me, that's where you can find all my content, all my work. But essentially what we're going to bring you over here at locksdfs.com is it's going to be a free video series that we're going to try and do every single day. It's just going to be a Locks MLB Breakdown. And essentially what we're going to do is going to be very similar to how I did the NHL breakdowns and how the NBA sort of videos are structured as well, in the sense that I'm just going to give you a few of my favorite pitchers, one high price guy, probably one low price guy, depending on the slate, just to switch it up a bit. And then I'm going to go over a few of my favorite bats, a few of my favorite spots every single day, just to give you guys sort of an introduction to the slate. And maybe even help you refine a few of your spots. If you've already been looking at the slate, maybe I can help, back up some of what you've already researched. So really looking forward to the series. I hope you guys had a great opening day yesterday. I know we did. A lot of members were really happy. We were overweight on Jose Barrios. We were overweight on a lot of those Cubs bats that did really well. We were overweight on Whit Merrifield carried me at the end with a couple of steals. So it was a great game. It was a great slate. Both those early and main slates were great, and hopefully we can carry that on to this entire season. I love baseball. It's one of my favorite DFS sports. I love the grind of it. I love how long it is. I love the sample size that you get just playing this every single day for like 180 days. So I hope you guys do as well. If you do want to follow me on Twitter, do so right here at ReallyAddy. It's where you can tweet at me anything you want, really. Any MLB DFS questions, NHL questions, general DFS questions, or questions in general. Or if you just want to keep up to date with my tweets and shit, like, you can go ahead and do that right here. It's pretty cool. And then lastly, if you do want to get a pass at locksdfs.com, we were planning on launching our new website yesterday. For those of y'all who probably already know, our old members, we're planning on launching that yesterday for y'all, and getting that up for the start of MLB season. Unfortunately, the night of the launch, our developer had some technical difficulties getting the site live, and so he's fixing those right now, and the site should be up shortly. So just know, if you do bypass on this website, we're going to transfer you guys over to a new website, a lot nicer website. It's going to be a lot more content on there, in addition to what we're already doing. So I think you guys will genuinely enjoy it a lot. So would love to have you on the team for the season. And if not, if you do have a content provider that you trust, I hope these videos can still bring you some value on top of what you're already getting from your other content providers. So with that all being said, I think that's it. Actually, there's one last thing. Typically on these videos, we do run a giveaway. We're going to go ahead and keep running that same giveaway on these videos. Essentially, all you got to do is like and comment on this video. You'll be entered into that giveaway to win a free season pass of your choice. It's just a cool way of us gaining more traction on our videos, as well as giving back to our most active, like, viewers, subscribers, members. Sort of like a win-win situation. So we like to do that for y'all. And the winner, the weekly winner, is going to be announced every Monday on this video every Monday. So go ahead and like, comment, and I will announce the winner in a few days. But with that being said, it's been about 3 minutes, and I haven't even talked about baseball yet. So let's go ahead and get into this slate. We're going to start it off by talking about a little bit of the high-priced pitching options. The guy standing out ahead of the field is Garrett Cole in a matchup on the road versus Tampa Bay. Not much to really say about a lot of these high-priced guys, Garrett Cole in particular. I'm assuming most of y'all played last year, but if you didn't play MLB DFS last year, this guy's one of the most elite pitchers in the league. 2.63 xFIP versus lefties, a 3.44 xFIP versus righties. He does a great job of limiting hard contact. He does a decent job of getting ground balls. And he's stepping into a matchup versus a Tampa Bay team that, while it's an interesting batting order, they do project to strike out a decent amount. It's not like Garrett Cole is unaffordable, so he's definitely my favorite high-price option if you can get there. The reason he may not be incredibly high owned, I do think he'll generate a ton of ownership, but the reason it may not be through the roof is because you have German Marquez right here at 9.2K. This will be the second pitcher I talk about. For those of y'all who didn't play MLB DFS last year, this guy was... I'm a Rockies fan, but I feel safe to say that this guy was the best pitcher in baseball for the second half of the season. I think the numbers will back that up. If we go to FanGraphs and pull up his splits between the first half and the second half, we'll see he was pretty dominant in the first half. 3.82 xFIP, 9.26 K per 9. But in the second half, he took that to a whole nother level, pitching half his games in Coors Field. 2.3 xFIP and a K per 9 of 12. He lowered his walk rate, and in addition to all of that, he upped his ground ball rate over that same time span. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, see, his ground ball rate increased by about 2.6%. A lot of reasons where you could pinpoint to this. He was locating his fastball better. He was throwing a bit of his breaking pitches a bit more. But if you do believe that he can carry over that kind of success into this year, which I don't think it'll be that pronounced. I mean, he did have a 42% hard contact rate over that same time span, which isn't great. So he may be due for a little bit of regression, but even if he does regress into like a mid-threes xFIP kind of guy, this is still an elite spot for him. This is going to be a spot that we target all season. Marlins bats, especially in Miami, in that big sort of cavernous ballpark over there. And German Marquez, I mean, he's got a great strikeout spot. We saw how Kyle Freeland sort of diced up that Marlins lineup. It's absolutely putrid. They have they got Curtis Granderson hitting leadoff, a bunch of right-handed bats in that lineup, which obviously played German's strength. And they got a pitcher spot in that lineup as well. So just a garbage team that we're definitely going to have to take advantage of as the season goes on. And probably will start tonight with German Marquez. If you don't want to pay up for both of these guys, which I think you can afford. I mean, if you pay for both of them, it's $3.7K per bat, which is certainly doable. And there is some bat value out there. But if you do want to come down a little bit, a guy I really like is Joey Lucchesi right here. We see San Francisco projected for only 3.4 runs, very similar to where we saw them versus Eric Lauer last game. And both these guys are quite similar in build. They're both southpaws, both left-handed pitchers. Both have a little bit of funky deliveries, although Lucchesi's is much more funkier than Eric Lauer's. You guys will see that when you watch him. He's got a weird delivery, but he was a great pitcher last year. If I go ahead and show you guys his splits, he had a 2.59 xFIP versus lefties with an 11.28 K per nine. He had a 3.67 xFIP versus righties with a 9.72 K per nine. And this San Francisco lineup actually leans more left-handed than like a lot of their good bats are left-handed. Like we have Steven Duggar at the top, Brandon Belt at the top, Brandon Crawford, Joe Panic. That's four lefties that project to be in the lineup, which is a big boost to him. And in addition to that, he also gets a pitcher spot, which is something that we want to target for sure. He's a guy that gets ground balls at a decent rate versus lefties at 61%, which is elite, versus righties at 41%, which is still pretty good. And another note on him is something that I had pulled up when I actually went to his thing. But if we filter this by pitch type, if we just go and look at what kind of pitches Joey Lucchesi throws, he's primarily a sinker changeup guy. Let me see if I can show you guys properly. Yeah, so he has his fastball changeup. Sinker is a fastball. He's primarily sinker changeup. And then if we go to last year, which is a similar Giants team to what we're getting this year, absolutely dreadful versus the changeup. Worst team in the league by a big margin as far as weighted changeup per 100. Just awful team. So this is a great spot for him to rack up quite a few strikeouts, as well as a good run prevention standpoint, obviously, as you can tell, via that low implied team total. So really like him as well if you want to pay down. As far as bats go, I know we're running a little bit behind on time. I don't want these videos to extend much over 10 minutes. So I'm going to keep it kind of quick. There's a couple spots that I'm really interested in. The first, I think, is versus... Who's calling me? I don't know who that is. Anyways, the first spot that we're looking to target is versus Matt Boyd. Matt Boyd, not a bad pitcher. He's got one really good pitch. That's a slider. Actually, let me not pull up this tab. He's got one really good pitch, which is a slider. Last year, Toronto projected pretty well versus sliders. Not projected. They did pretty well versus sliders. But in general, Matt Boyd's a guy that gives it up to right-handed bats. 4.98 xFIP. He gives up a lot of home runs. 1.44 to righties. He gives up a lot of hard contact, 36.3%. He gives up a lot of fly balls, 50.5%. And this is the Blue Jays lineup that we can relatively expect to be pretty good versus lefties. They got a lot of guys that lean in that direction. They lead off with Brandon Drury, who's sitting at 2.9K on DraftKings. I think he's going to end up coming in very high owned. Randall Grichuk after that, 4.6K. He hits lefties better than righties. Teoscar Hernandez hits lefties better than righties. Lourdes Gurriel, Kevin Pillar, all the way down to like Freddie Galvis, who's their 9-hole hitter, hits lefties better than righties. So we could definitely see this be a spot that Matt Boyd struggles in. I think is reflected in his price. And the Blue Jays are a fairly cheap stack. They burned a lot of people yesterday on the early slate, so they may be hesitant to go back there. I won't be. I'll be going back there on this slate tonight. And then another spot I think you can target is Marco Estrada. So Marco Estrada made the move from Toronto to Oakland, which is honestly probably a good move for his skill set. This is a guy that generates a lot of fly balls. He generates a decent amount of soft to medium contact, not a lot of hard contact, but the hard contact that he does generate just goes straight out the ballpark. As you guys can see, he's got a fly ball percentage of 55% to lefties, 56% to righties, which is incredibly high, but relatively low hard hit percentages. So he made a pretty savvy decision in going to Oakland, where his skill set would be better suited. Oakland is a massive ballpark that plays fairly big. That plays even bigger at night times. During the daytime, you'll sometimes see this park play smaller when it's warmer out, but at nighttime, it's one of the more pitcher-friendly parks in baseball, where fly balls can just, find the outfielder as opposed to finding the seats. But with that being said, it's just a bad pitcher, and when he does give up hard contact, no ballpark can hold that. And there's a few guys that I really want to target on this LA side. One, obviously, being Mike Trout. Just an elite hitter. I think he's definitely going to be affordable, especially if you come down to someone like Joey Lucchesi. And then the second guy being Justin Bour at 3.6K on DraftKings. We saw him come in at around 40% owned in double-ups yesterday in a similarly good matchup versus a bad righty. I can't remember off the top of my head who they were going up against, but we saw him come out about 40%, and he didn't do too much, so people may be hesitant to go back there with that short sample size. But I will be going right back there. Justin Bour versus Marco Estrada. I love that play tonight. So with that all being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please do leave a like and comment. As always, you'll be entered into that giveaway as well, as helping us gain some traction on these videos. So go ahead and leave a comment, though, and let me know what you guys want to see from these going forward. That would be a really helpful comment for me. If you want to see me talk about batters more, talk about pitchers more, weather, whatever you want to see, break down MLB DFS, let me know and I'll do that for y'all. Since we are going to keep these videos sort of more free flowing and conversational. So with that all being said, I hope you guys win a ton of money tonight, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.